This is a trebuchet. It's based on the design of Leonard Vance, link in description, and it's meant to throw things such as a croquet ball or a golf ball. This one flies further because there are fluffy unicorns in the air. So you spin around the throwing arm, lock the pin, and you put your projectile in the pouch and secure the sling to the pin over here. Now that it's all set, you can see that the weight is pulling down on this pulley, which is pulling this string over here, which is gonna have tension in this direction, which is gonna make the throwing arm end over here go down and in fact spin all the way like this, and then the sling is gonna stretch up and it's gonna release this projectile, which is gonna fly off in that direction. Pro tip, you should always look where it flies. But I found this rock which weighs 200 grams, so the same as the croquet ball did, so it's gonna be a good approximation. So if we have a constant 200 gram projectile and about a 7 kilogram counterweight, I have a graph showing that the 7 kilogram counterweight is most efficient, around 54%, which isn't so good, but anyway. So here we have the potential energy and the kinetic energy with initial velocity 22.6 meters per second, giving us 53% efficiency, which is the maximum efficiency, and it corresponds to a 7 kilogram counterweight. So what happens with, say, a 15 kilogram counterweight? Well, the projectile is still gonna be the same 0.2 kilograms and it's gonna fly a lot faster, but the efficiency is gonna be a lot smaller, which is seen from the counterweight dropping and bouncing around. This resting position is the optimum angle for the throwing arm to be when the projectile is to be launched, because if the throwing arm goes any further forward, it means the counterweight has to travel up, and we're wasting energy if that happens. So you remember that the sling has a loop end which goes on this release pin over here, and the idea is that you have a projectile in here and there's a radius of so much and a velocity of so much, which is gonna have tension on this loop end, and when the tension grows big enough, it's gonna be released, and that's when the pouch is gonna open and release the projectile. And you just go by trial and error, adjusting this little pin over here to be at such an angle that the projectile is launched at a little less than 45 degrees measured from the ground up, because that's when it's gonna have maximum distance. And this kind of nut adjustment is very convenient, and the material you make this pin out of doesn't actually matter because it goes from anywhere between 90 and 0 degrees. And a golf ball which weighs 46 grams is gonna require the angle to be more like this for it to fly in the same angle, because it's gonna have less force. Okay, so if we assume that the speed when the pouch is released is gonna be 22.6 meters per second for any ball, then the force required will be 80 newtons, and it's gonna happen at this angle for the locking pin, which is the optimum we're aiming for with the golf ball here, and it's gonna need 18 newtons only. So that's why we have to make the angle smaller. So the angle of the release pin is pretty much parallel to the throwing arm, and this way I believe the golf ball is gonna go straight in that direction and a bit up and down, because golf balls are designed to undergo Magnus effect. So, oh,